Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising positions for the week ahead. Keeping in mind that these are general readings and may not resonate for everyone. So make sure to check out your other placements. And if you're interested in a personal reading, have a look at the description below because I'm offering a little promotion for the month of May. All right, my friends, let's get started. We're going to start with a Celtic cross right into the tarot cards. See what the energy surrounding Taurus is for the week ahead. Taurus. Ooh, Ten of Cups. Love that. Okay. So the Ten of Cups is coming through here with the Devil card as the obstacle. And it appears that what's on top of mind here for you, my dear Taurus, is some energy from the past. So this is interesting. So right now you're in a space where I think emotional fulfillment is really present. You've chosen happiness. You've chosen to focus on being fulfilled and feeling positive. It's like you're making this choice. I see the Ten of Cups as choosing to be happy in a time where there's ups and downs, because life is full of ups and downs and opportunities for us to learn things about ourselves. Some of those opportunities are easier than others and some are harder than others. And so regardless, seeing the Ten of Cups to me says you're choosing to stay in a state of fulfillment and happiness throughout those ups and downs. Now, the thing creating the obstacle for you, we see the Devil coming through. And the Devil's coming through in the reverse position here as your obstacle. And so what that says to me, even if the Devil was upright, it would sort of give me this same impression that what is sort of an obstacle to you choosing happiness are sort of the parts of yourself that are more interested in sort of looking at things in a way that provoke your shadows to come to the surface. You know what I mean? And so seeing this as your obstacle tells me that you may need to be liberated from something to fully step into your fulfillment and happiness. That there may be something creating an obstacle for you with respect to negative energy, negative circumstances, negative people who are focused on negative perspectives. And realizing that in some way, when you indulge these energies, you're sort of giving your power there. And I think you're realizing here that where you put your energy and where you put your focus is where things expand. And it's almost like, Taurus, you've decided or realized recently that you don't want to invest in this perspective anymore. You're not interested in looking at yourself in a way that is not empowering. You're not interested in seeing yourself as a victim. You're not interested in seeing yourself as helpless. You've sort of had a breakthrough with this in the sense of you may have shifted into this mode of feeling helpless and like a victim and disempowered. That may have been sort of an autopilot for you, but it's almost like you've made this decision. Not recently, or maybe for some of you recently. It almost feels like you made this decision a while ago to me from what I'm seeing here, because I feel this past energy is on your mind as something like the point at which you made this decision is on your mind, that you had sort of drawn a line in the sand with yourself and said, I'm no longer going to look at life in a certain way because I don't like how it makes me feel when I'm looking at things from that perspective. So I'm going to shift my perspective and approach things in a different way. And I feel like you made that decision. It feels like a while ago to me. This doesn't feel sudden. It feels like you've been committed to doing things that way for a while. And at the bottom of the base of the matter here, unconsciously, the reason for that was because you wanted to feel like inner joy, inner rewards, inner satisfaction. You know, it's interesting. I feel like maybe there is someone or an experience or a person or a group of people maybe in your life that you sort of saw how by focusing on the negative or by not being grateful for life and not being sort of present with yourself in the moment, to even in the tough times, to be like, this is going to pass and I'm going to overcome this obstacle, instead of feeling like, I'm almost hearing, when people say things like my life, or life is whatever, like it's shit, and like, people sometimes say things like that. And then they end up embodying that kind of energy where, nothing ever works out for me. And I hear people say kind of like stuff like that all the time, where they focus their energy on something not working out as being somehow that's life, that nothing ever works, everything's difficult, and nothing ever works out, and get used to it, kind of thing, like join the club. And you're like, no, I'm not joining that club. I don't want to join that club. I've never been interested in that club. I'm staying as far away from that club as I can. And I'm going to focus on gratitude and choosing happiness, because I know everything is temporary and everything will pass. Even the good stuff passes. And so I'm going to be grateful for those moments, because I know that everything passes. The good, the uncomfortable, it all passes. And so it's interesting, Taurus. It's like you have this, it's like I see you standing in the midst of a crowd and you're the one smiling and everyone else is frowning, and you've got a big grin on your face, because you know that choosing happiness is sort of the mystery, right? Like that's what unlocks life for us in some ways, is by our perspective. And it's like, that mystery. So you're smiling and everyone else is frowning. And I feel like you've made that choice. And the obstacle for you is to sort of allow those other things to come to the surface so that you can have a look at them and release them, to bring things into the light so you can have a better look at them and be like, are there still ways that I'm hanging on to this narrative where I'm a victim or I'm helpless? And you're holding that energy that says that life is difficult and, nothing is easy, and those kind of grand statements that can really, really shift your vibe, Let's see what the past influence is. Knight of Swords. So that's what I'm saying. Like, something happened in the past to shift your perspective. You started to look at things differently, and you allowed your life to change as a result of that. It's almost like you had a sudden realization where your energy became very focused on the idea of choosing how you feel. And choosing inner joy, choosing gratitude, choosing this transformative gateway where you kind of crossed into a new way of looking at life. And I feel like that all got initiated for you in the past. And now moving into the future, we see here upcoming energy is strength and the Ace of Wands, which is a wonderful energy for you to be stepping into, because it shows me here that you understand how to sort of have that inner strength to accomplish and overcome anything that crosses your path. And that all comes from being, that all starts from within. And that Four of Wands shows us the same message, in that you've sort of understood that this is all a reflection of what's going on within. And so if within you're feeling like life is always difficult and nothing ever works out for me, that's going to get reflected back to you somehow. And I feel like you discovered that. And again, I see you as the person smiling in a crowd of frowns. You're the one smiling because you understand this. And the Ace of Wands with that tells me that not only are you ready to overcome any obstacle that crosses your path, but you're also ready to take up an opportunity that brings in a lot of yes energy. That Ace of Wands to me is you saying yes to something that really motivates you. And it's like this seed of potential, an arrival of this creative, intense creative inspiration here, okay? And it's this ability to manifest anything, because again, it's like you're the person that gets it. You've figured out the mystery some time ago, and now you're living it. And again, I see you in this crowd of frowning faces, holding up signs that say life is hard and my life sucks, and you're the only one smiling. and because you understand that it all comes from within. And I love this reading for you because it really makes me feel like you're starting to plant seeds of potential moving forward now. And you've realized that everything is connected and that there's that mirror-like reflective nature between our inner world and our outer world. And so whatever you hold true within will be true outside. As above, so below, as within. So I always want to say without, but that's not the right one. But like as it is inside, it will be reflected in the outer world, right? The outer world is the outer manifestation of the inner world, right? And so again, it's like you've understood this, and your obstacles are to make sure you don't slip into that narrative yourself in that sea of frowning faces. You know what I mean? It's a very interesting reading for you this week, Taurus. Now, let's slide these up so we have some room and we'll get the rest of your cards. So how does Taurus see themselves right now? Okay, so this is interesting. Taurus, you see yourself as the Hierophant. That's how you're seeing yourself, which is interesting because this card is Taurus energy. And to me, it is that idea of knowing the mysteries. See the keys here? The keys are here because they unlock the mysteries. They are the keys to the connection between the human world and the spiritual world, the inner world and the outer world, the illusion and the reality. These are the keys that unlock all of that. And I'm telling you, that's how you see yourself right now, because you have had an aha moment. You have had in the past a realization that said, if I shift how I feel within, then the outer world shifts along with me, because we're connected. We're not separate. And I feel like you get that. And that's why you're the one smiling in the sea of frowns. I love that. I can't stop seeing it. Now, how do other people see you, Taurus? Let's see. Other people are sort of seeing you interesting here with this Two of Pentacles in reverse. The Two of Pentacles in reverse is an intriguing card to me because it sort of brings us to a very human place where we have to make choices without knowing exactly how things are going to go. You know, we don't know which coin. I'll turn it over so you can see which one of these coins leads to a big giant tidal wave and which one has very calm seas ahead. We don't know. We sort of have to choose based on the energy that we're holding, right? We have to sort of trust ourselves when we see this card. And when I see the Two of Pentacles in reverse, I almost feel like you have to cut this red tape. You know, it's almost like you have to use this inner strength that we see here to free out these two coins, because it's almost like while they're bound with this red tape, you can't move, you know, it's stuck. And so it's interesting. That makes me feel like when people see you, Taurus, they often think that you have somehow gotten yourself to a place where, you know, you've got so much going on, you know, that you've created so much for yourself that now you have to prioritize. And so the outer reflection of you that people may see in you or might get reflected back to you from others is that you need to prioritize. You need to sort of hone in on something that feels like it's where you really want to commit, so that you're not juggling obligations. So people may see you as you've taken on too much. You know, you might get that even said to you by others, like listen, you've taken too much on here. You need to slow down and pick something. You may see this in yourself as you've got so many things that you want to do that you might feel like you haven't given each of those tasks enough time, because you're doing so many tasks and you have so many priorities that's why I feel like if you snip that red tape between them, you might be able to sort of focus on one at a time instead of trying to do everything at once. But it does give me this feeling that you are very inspired at this time. Sometimes when We have a lot of priorities to juggle. Sometimes they feel like obligations, but sometimes they feel like things that we just love to do, and we can't settle on one thing because we love all of these things. And we don't really know how it's going to work out and which one is going to lead to what. So we want to invest in everything. Kind of makes me feel like right now it might serve you to prioritize one thing and work on that, to really give something a lot of your energy, time, and focus. Now, hopes and fears for you, Taurus. Interesting. Hopes and fears for you surround the idea that you don't want to sort of miss out on any opportunity because you may have convinced yourself it wasn't going to work out before. You know what I mean? Seeing the 7 of Swords with the Judgment and the 10 of Wands is an interesting combination of cards for this spot in your reading, because it sort of signifies to me that you're ready to do things in a different way, because you've gotten to this place where you're at the end of a certain experience, and it's like, okay, I'm ready to do this in a different way. But when I see the 7 of Swords with Judgment in reverse, I can't help but wonder if you may be denying something to yourself. Like, is there something that you don't want to let go of, that you know it's time to let go of, but you've divided your attentions so much that you're clinging to something that's actually done? That might be why that 2 of Pentacles is there. That might be why people are saying just prioritize, because this 10 of Wands, when it's in reverse, can signify a difficulty in asking for help. It can signify a difficulty of letting go of something, or your own expectations or someone else's expectations. And this idea of clinging to things that have come to sort of a natural and timely conclusion. And you may be sort of denying that to yourself when I see the 7 of Swords with that card, especially coming through with that Judgment card in reverse, because that can really signify that feeling of not being able to let go of something. Interesting, right? With that 2 of Pentacles. So by not being able to let go of something, by denying something to yourself, right? By hanging on to something that feels done, you've got too many priorities on your plate, and it may be time to really focus on whatever this is, this Ace of Wands, to really give that all of your attention and focus instead of trying to do it all. There's almost this martyr energy coming through. I was going to call you Wonder Woman or Superman. Like, you're not Wonder Woman and you're not Superman. You're an inspired human being who needs to focus on one thing at a time, right? And you might be so inspired that you have a lot of ideas coming through, but it almost feels like there is something that is taking up too much time. And that thing that's taking up too much time may have come to a natural end, and you haven't quite come on board with that end yet. That might be why we're seeing the Devil, the 7 of Swords, the Judgment in reverse, the priorities in the 2 of Pentacles. And so let's see what the final outcome is here for Taurus with this situation. Love it. It's the 6 of Wands, excuse me. I love it because this is victory. This is success. This is recognition and acknowledgement for whatever it is that you decided to focus on. It works out, Taurus. So it's interesting. I love that for you, because to me that says that not only are you going to be successful if you prioritize your energy and give something your all, really focusing on it, it's going to also put you in a position where other people recognize you for what you've done, and you become a leader in something. You become seen. You may, in this day and age, you could become an influencer. That word is so funny to me, influencer. But you might, because what does that really mean? It means that by doing something in the public eye, you create recognition and acknowledgement, and you end up influencing others that are interested in the same thing. And so to me, that suggests that you do end up sort of focusing your energy and choosing to prioritize something that brings in a lot of fulfillment to you, and it's successful. But I feel like that comes with letting something go that is no longer serving you, and you sort of have to, I think right now from what I'm seeing, it's like you're in denial of that. You're like, no, that's not quite over yet. What are you talking about? I can still do everything. Well, maybe you can do everything, but can you do everything at its fullest potential when you're focused on so many things? Maybe not. That's the intriguing thing. And seeing here on the bottom of the deck, the Page of Cups, which tells me that this is a very transformative time for you, Taurus. This is a very transformative time for you where you could be, needing to sort of be the dreamer that the page sort of embodies, right? Like all the pages are messengers. This messenger is coming in with some unexpected synchronicities, magic, and motivation to help you sort of feel like, you're flourishing. And it's really transformative, very, very beautiful energy here of, seeing things through that sort of innocent, childlike wonder, which makes me think about that Six of Cups that you received as well, where this might be the thing that you end up focusing on might be something that you have been dreaming about since you were just little. And I can't help but feel like this is a dream for you. This could be a dream come true with that Six of Wands, showing us so much success and acknowledgement. You're finally going to be acknowledged for something that you love and that you enjoy so much. And there's so much emotion around this that you're not playing it small anymore with this dream. You're really taking that baton or that wand and running with it. And you're not letting limited beliefs hold you back. I feel like you're going to sort of unpack this denial a bit and really step into prioritizing what really makes you feel alive. This is lovely. Lovely reading for you this week, Taurus. Really, really showing us that you've understood something and you're changing the inner reality, and therefore that shifts your outer reality. You're shifting your outer reality by shifting the inner reality. Look at this. Your oracle messages to close your reading are a change in the wind and a fork in the road. And look, it's card 12 and 13. And I've been shuffling this deck all day. So that's a lovely message as well. This is telling me you have to make a decision and that things are going to shift accordingly with that. That once you shift within, you're going to have a directional decision to make about where to focus your energy. And I really think that that's going to lead to that outcome of the Six of Wands, where you're very successful, you're very acknowledged and recognized for whatever this is. And you've sort of made this all happen by shifting within. Wow. I love this reading for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope it's been helpful, and I look forward to reading for you again soon, my friend. Sending you so much love.